Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul.
They're gonna run out of cheeseheads soon.
The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It is your man, Clubboy Bales. Welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly. I got my shades on. It's nice out. Figured I'd be outside. I'd make a video. Haven't done that, obviously. Very soon I will be discussing, the intakes of the Packers and the Badgers, because literally we're already getting into training camp for those two organizations. Crazy enough said, but I'm excited for what is to definitely come. But regardless, obviously today's topic is the Brewers. The trade deadline has officially passed, and I honestly wanted to go over the very significant trades that the crew made over the last couple of days. But without further ado, you like what you see, subscribe below. Comment with your thoughts on what you believe in as well, and if you want to see more videos, hit the notification bell. So, obviously, thing is, we, as a team, they're not doing the hottest, I guess. They just keep seemingly not knowing how to have a lead. I don't know what it is. Like, they have a lead and they just can't seem to get through it. But, honestly, the whole thing with this team is the struggles with being able to hit the ball. We only have, a couple hitters that really can do well, but everyone's just been batting terribly as of lately. So I think the team wanted to try to hopefully get a bat in there. Now, through this last month, we've been without Rowdy Tellez and Brian Anderson, and obviously I'm assuming at some point this month, both these guys will obviously be returning to the team. So, because literally they're having all these rookies in there. I mean, Monasterio is the only one that actually can play third base, so he's literally playing third base, a position that relatively isn't even his. I think he's a shortstop, technically. But, I mean, it's crazy. They're down a lot of people, but we're seeing all these younger rookies trying to step up and do some things. But the team decided, since this team is very young, they wanted to go after some, let's say, people who have played in the league for a very long time. So, the two names that they went after, so first off, I did little shorts on these because when they happened, because, they're big deals. But the first one was Carlos Santana, who, obviously, for those who are big MLB fans, he was that star designated hitter / first baseman. He was a stud, dude. They nicknamed him Slam Tana for a reason. I mean, he could hit the balls, and he obviously being on Cleveland last year, mainly his career he was on Cleveland, and then Cleveland moved on from him, and then I think he kind of swapped from teams. I think last year he was on the Royals, and then got traded to Seattle. Then Pittsburgh signed him this season to a cheap deal, and then Pittsburgh started going downhill, and next thing you know, he's just with us. So he's a veteran. The better part is he's a switch hitter, so he actually can play both sides, which is great. I guess you could say it's a better upgrade from Rowdy Tellez, since Rowdy has been out and Owen Miller's been struggling. I mean, literally, they sent Owen Miller back down to AAA because of how much he's actually struggled offensively the last month. But you know what? We got a guy that hopefully can do well. I only know he's batting .230 right now, but he's already hit a home run for us, which is nice. But I'm hoping he can really be a great contribute. I know he's old, but it's great veteran presence to have on a team. The Brewers also went after a veteran outfielder. Now, thinking about it, I was thinking they were going to go after someone that was really more well-known, but they went with Mark Canha, who, in my opinion, I was saying how mid this trade was. But it turns out that, we traded Justin Jarvis, who was not even having a good season for AAA, for him. So, I'm just like, well, I guess that's okay. I mean, but we're not even paying the guy, too. He becomes a free agent, so we know we're not bringing him back, but this is a guy that provides veteran leadership. He has, I guess, a better on-base percentage than some of the other guys that they were looking at. I mean, some people are saying they should just go after Chris Bryant, but I'm like, no, why Chris Bryant? I get that he has a little slightly better batting average and home runs, but he's missed so many games this season. Plus, Conha's on-base percentage is better because he does have a lot of contact and does get walked a lot, so that is something I've noticed. Obviously, only 6 home runs and 29 RBIs. This is the only downside, but this was kind of a down year for him. But I'm hoping this isn't a bad thing because I want to see him really start to feel more comfortable in the moment. I think he's just, but compared to where he was before, he was good when I think he was with, I don't know what team he was with before, because I know he's with the Mets the last couple of years. I mean, he was a Diamondback. It was Oakland. He was with Oakland for all these years. So, I mean, he's a veteran, and he's had some moments, but, this was a little much of a down year. So, you know what? I'm thinking, this could definitely be a helpful veteran. This can definitely get these outfielders like Frelick and Weimer, and, those guys are so young, Give them some help, So both those guys, I think, can be great veteran presence. I feel like a veteran presence is what this team doesn't really have. I mean, the thing is, our oldest player really in the roster, it was Christian Yelich before they made those trades. And to be honest, I don't believe that Yelich even has that veteran presence yet. Because when Braun was at the end of his career, he did have that presence and he was leading those younger guys. Yelich still is only 31. He still has a couple more years till he becomes that point of a veteran. This team is super young, so it's good to bring 2 guys in there that are older and that are experienced, and they have a lot of that. Now, on the pitching side. Now, the Brewers were looking for some pitchers. I think their relief pitching can be a little shaky at times. They've had some good moments. They've had some bad moments. I guess you can say Devin Williams, is having a good season at closer, I'll say. But you also can say that, we need some other guys. I mean, Pomps is having a good season. Pagero was having some moments. Now he's looking a little shaky up. But we could use another bullpen arm. Now, I kind of wasn't interested in him because of the season that he's kind of having this season. But they went with Andrew Chafin, who the last couple seasons was really looking good enough to be an all-star. Like, his best season came 2 years ago when he spent half of it with Chicago and Oakland. He was really looking phenomenal. Last year, I think he was on Detroit, and then this year, it was back with the Arizona Diamondbacks, which was the team he basically spent the most of his career with. Dude literally looks like any normal pitcher that you see. He literally has a mustache and everything. He literally looks like John Axford, freakishly. But, he was acting as the Arizona Diamondbacks closer. He has like 8 saves and stuff. But you know what? He wasn't really closing material. And the best part was, we gave up Peter Strzelecki for him, too. And all these people were like, oh, well, thank God he's gone. And then, yet again, I'm like, you just don't, do you guys not know who you just traded for? And I'm sitting there like, yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I think they got Sewell, too, who's the Seattle's closer, so it don't matter. But, you know what? We got a guy I could consider and say, is a decent arm to the bullpen. Hopefully he turns it around. I mean, he had some Cubs fans really liked him before he got traded. I know he had to. He had no choice because of the season he was having. But my gosh, it's a great deal. I like it. And hopefully you do too. A lot of minor league moves as well. I mean, it was a lot of moves that obviously are going to be, the Brewers are going to be bringing some people in the future, but I think, we're waiting to see what happens. A lot of younger guys are going to take over this team. This is going to be a very young team next year. A lot of exciting things to see. Unfortunately, one of the guys that we kind of had on our team for a little bit, turned out he just wasn't the guy. And you know what? I wanted him to be the guy, but he just wasn't. And unfortunately, Luis Urias, they decided it was time to let him go. And, as much as I wanted to see him develop into a great player, he just wasn't that guy. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, him and Willie were so close. it's going to suck to see him go, but he's going to hopefully revive his career with the Boston Red Sox, so that's nice. I think we got a relief pitcher from their AAA system in return. Clayton Claylock or Claylock, I don't know, I forgot his name, but Connor, yeah, something. But regardless, you know what? Thank you, Luis, for everything you've done for this team. I mean, he looked like he was going to be a great guy, and it just turns out he just wasn't. He just was having a bad year this year. The injuries have kind of caused him some playing time the last 2 seasons, and he just wasn't himself. But hopefully he remains healthy and can really be a pivotal part of the Boston Red Sox franchise for the future. So that is something I think that they can do. Obviously, I think the Brewers are going to try to move on from third base. I think Brian Anderson obviously is there. Maybe they like Monasterio enough that they'll keep him at that spot. And of course, they drafted I think it's Brock Wilken is his name, a third baseman who's a power hitter and could turn out to be a great player in maybe a year or two. So anything can really happen at this point. But you know what? I think this team is young. This team needs some work, and I think, you know what? They did some decency. They got Santana, they got Canha, they'll get Anderson and Tellez back eventually. I think they'll have a team decently enough to try to compete for the playoffs. Do I believe that this team, with these trades, that they can really make a playoff run with it? No. I don't really, especially after how we played against Atlanta. I don't think anybody is going to come out and beat Atlanta. And if you want to beat Atlanta, I felt like they could have done some trades, but the problem was there really wasn't anybody worthy enough of a trade. The Cardinals didn't want to give up any of their guys. The Mets didn't want to give up any of their guys. The Padres didn't want to give up any of their guys. So pretty much, and they're all and teams that were supposed to be great, they weren't, and they didn't give up anybody. I wanted Yeimer Candelario, but the Cubs somehow got him. And but I get it. That's where he was originally drafted, so I guess it's good to see where he goes back to and where he started. But I think from any type of standpoint, they did at least a decent amount of work with trades. I mean, I'm happy with where they're at right now. You know what? And you know what? It's going to be a long push. I don't believe this team really has what it takes to be a contender for the playoffs. Do I think they can get in the playoffs? Yes, because of their pitching. I mean, yes, Woodruff is going to be back soon. So Burns and Woodruff and Miley and Peralta is 4 guys that can really be a great rotation in the playoffs. We just haven't got a healthy rotation. I mean, there's no, obviously, I think Teheran's likely getting cut. He got put on the IL, and then Ray, I don't know, is having actually a decent enough season, but he ain't probably going to last long either. And Hauser, honestly, should just be a bullpen pitcher, as I've said multiple times. But you know what? And who knows? And maybe Lauer will start to do good enough in AAA where this team starts to look at him and think, oh, he can come back and be himself again. So, you know what? Lot of the season to go. We got 2 months of baseball left to go. Anything can happen. And then soon enough, football starts. So, of course, more updates to come. If you like what you see, subscribe below and comment with your thoughts. And hopefully, no more leads are blown, because I'm sick and tired of seeing them lose games where they blow leads. So, that's just unfortunate. So, we will see you next time.